You're listening to the Pink Property Podcast, where each week we will discuss hot property topics, introduce you to members of our team as well as special guests, and let you know about all the things that are going on at David Lee. Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of the podcast. I'm Lee O'Brien, joined by David Kirby.
Morning.
This week, we wanted to talk to you about open days, starting to come back into the fray, and we just wanted to talk to you about how things work. So,
Absolutely.
Dave, can you explain the sort of very basic version of what an open day is?
Yeah, of course. So generally it is 1 day of viewings. Everyone's lined up, gets a time slot to come and view your home with as least disruption to you as a vendor.
And people can do this badly. Believe it or not, it sounds simple, but people can do this badly, and agents can sort of mess this up a little bit. What are some of the bad things we hear about that some of our buyers have attended open days and experiences that they've had?
I think it's organisation and structure, isn't it? And if that's wrong, that's where mistakes are made. So bad examples: more than one person at the house at one time, so you're viewing the property with other people, the agent's not ready for you, there doesn't seem to be any structure in the day. I think that's where it becomes poor.
Because that, I suppose, in true effect, actually being an open day, that kind of is half expected, but it's just not. It's not right for the client. It kind of rushes people. Do you think?
I don't think it works for anyone. I don't think it's good for the customer or the client. An unstructured day.
To have too many people there.
Yeah, buyers don't particularly like them anyway. I think they want a fair chance at viewing and seeing it in time. Yeah. But a badly run open day, that doesn't happen.
Yeah. And we sort of took a stance around open days and how we wanted to pose them a few years ago. So talk through how we go about prepping and running a successful open day at David Lee.
Yeah, so preparation starts from something we speak about a lot at David Lee, and I know Lee's spoken about it, Laura's spoken about it, getting your house right. This is a prime example and an ideal opportunity for you to spend all your time getting your house right, knowing, fingers crossed, your house is going to get sold in 1 day. So you can have it looking absolutely ship shape, take the kids out, take the dog out, and leave us with your house for the day. So I think that's the sort of real benefit and advantage to a vendor, knowing that there's structure in place, and that's how it works.
When you lead a busy life and you've got kids and family and dogs, like you said, it can be difficult to try and think, I've got to keep the house ready all the time, just in case the agent calls.
Or even for a professional couple. You're working, for example, around here, lots of people work in London. They're getting a train at 7 in the morning and not getting back till 7 at night. They don't have the time to get themselves straight for a viewing day.
Viewings,
so they can get that ready. Can't have 5 viewings spread out during the week. They just want that structured day on a Saturday.
So when we're setting these up, we've prepped the client, they've prepped the house, we've got it nice and ready. What are the next steps?
So obviously David Lee Marketing goes on behind the scenes, and the team are ready, prepared for viewings take place on Saturday the 12th. So time slots, we know everyone who's coming and they get a dedicated time slot. Depend on the size of the house, the location and what it offers, somewhere between 15 minutes and 30 minutes for a time slot.
And why is that important?
To have a time slot specifically, I think courtesy to the buyer, to give them a good look round and a safe look round. We get time with the client or the customer to explain and answer any questions they have. Why are the vendors moving? How long have they lived there? Where's the boiler? Those sort of general questions that people have. Security for our client, we need to know who's coming, when they're coming, and we need to walk around with them. Touch wood, we don't have a problem, but someone could become a problem if there were a number of people in the house and we weren't sure who was there. So that structure just gives everyone a bit of calm time, gives us time with a customer as well, and that's why we like to structure it.
And obviously COVID has played a big part in all of our worlds for the past 18 months. By having these structured slots, it does give us the ability to control the environment and to try and keep everybody as COVID safe as we're able to.
We're
not
already
mixing
structured
households unnecessarily as well.
Pre-COVID we were structured. Obviously, during COVID, we couldn't host these days.
Yeah, because they were actually banned, weren't they?
Absolutely.
Through that period.
Yeah. Generally, viewings were pretty much frowned upon. So, yeah, we cut back on the open days and just individual viewings to people that were very keen to buy. But now we're back in a more relaxed world. Again, we're very safe and compliant. With these structured times, these half an hours, it means that we can have doors open, get some fresh air through the house, have a quick run around with a bacterial wipe and stop people getting into contact with each other. So household at a time.
I think it's good, and I think it's a real respectful way of doing it.
Absolutely.
For us. Other benefits to the seller. So obviously they can leave the house prepped once for us.
Yep.
What else is a big benefit to the seller off the back of an open day?
The aim is to get it sold in that weekend, so that you don't have viewings spread out for the next 6 weeks. So aim is to get it sold in your first weekend. And from a seller's point of view, hopefully we'll have more than one buyer, more than one person offering on it. And if that's the case, price should do that.
Yeah, so, it really creates that buzz around a property, doesn't it? When you've got lots of people know there are other people coming, they're not in the same house at the same time, but they are aware that there is other activity.
You've got to perform as a buyer, you've got to make a choice and you've got to put in a strong bid.
Is there a limit to how many people you could have at an open day?
Purely down to time, really. That's all it is. We try to limit here the number of people by putting only good people through the front door. So if you're in a proceedable position, first time buyer, sold in, rented, whatever, we're not entertaining people that aren't in that position on a first open day. There's enough quality people around at the moment that we don't need.
And would you have,
people aren't ready.
Is it often that people would have more than one open day?
Yes, and I wouldn't be disappointed as a seller if your first one doesn't get the attention. Sometimes we will have first weekend and we've attracted the wrong people for one reason or another. So we've had, 10 people view and none of them are interested. So back to the drawing board, what went wrong? Why didn't people like it? Is there anything we can do to the house to get it better prepared? Are we marketing to the right people? Should we be aiming at a different demographic? And let's go for open day number 2.
Brilliant. We actually started testing that sort of midweek open and the weekend open as a 2 open day theory. And
purely down to demand locally in certain price brackets. So a good example, 3-bed semis in Bishop Stortford, somewhere around £400,000, is in massive demand. And we just couldn't host enough people safely in one weekend. But we didn't want it to drag on for 3 or 4 weekends, or the client didn't. So we did a afternoon during the week and a Saturday, and that worked really well as well.
I thought it did.
Got all the numbers through the door, but didn't delay it.
Brilliant. So in conclusion, they are great time savers, open days. They're definitely back and permitted if done safely and correctly. And I would just ensure that if you're going to go down the open day route, that your agent's got a real strategy around how they're going to do it, and how they're going to control that whole environment to try and generate the maximum impact and get the best result for you, which is achieving
controlled, organised. And as a buyer or a viewer, don't be put off by open days. I know that some seems to just be set for a vendor to get as much money as they can. That's not really the only reason behind it. Is to get a sale agreed in a swift time to a good buyer, and if you're a good buyer, you've got a really good chance of buying a great house at open day.
Brilliant. Thanks for joining us today, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Watch the podcast every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Get notified by hitting that subscribe button right now.